Imagine a world where everyone has a mentor from cradle to career. You see, mentors changed my life, and more than likely, someone changed your life as well. Growing up, I grew up in extreme poverty, depending on food banks, hand-me-down clothes, and so much more. Unfortunately, as a teenager, life didn't get any easier. To the contrary, at 14, I became what came to describe myself now as an unofficial foster youth. Never officially in the foster care system, but rather living with community members, strangers, whose heart was big enough to take me in for 3 months or a year. At 18, after spending almost a week sleeping in the parking lot of my high school, I found myself with nothing but my clothes in a black trash bag with nowhere to go, nowhere to turn to. And at that moment, the only person that I could think of to ask for help was my high school guidance counselor, Mrs. Elrod. You see, 2 weeks before, Mrs. Elrod's kindness and friendliness had culminated to her reaching out to me and saying, "Gustavo, as you graduate, here is my number. Call me if you ever need anything." And that day, I needed more than anything. And as I stood there holding that black trash bag, out of my back pocket, I pulled out a little piece of crumpled paper with her phone number on it. And as I stared at those numbers, I struggled to decide if I could call her, if I could share my story. Maybe I can figure this out on my own, I thought to myself. You see, going through high school, I never shared my struggles with anyone because I just wanted to be a normal teenager. I took a deep breath, and I dialed. Ring, ring, ring. "Hi, Gustavo," she answered. And I shared my story. I don't remember what I said because all I remember are my tears blurring my vision. And when I was done talking, she said, "Gustavo, give me 5 minutes. I'll call you right back." As I waited, I figured that she would call back and refer me to a social worker or maybe a shelter. But when she called back, she said, "Gustavo, my husband and I would like you to come to our house." That was the 4th or 5th home that I was going to stay in. Skip over 5 years. I am now 23. I am a college graduate and just started my first business. When I share this story, often people ask, "Well, Gustavo, what happened from 14 to 23 that allowed you to have such an amazing life?" My answer is always, I had caring mentors and educators and people in my life that supported me from a young person to a young adult. Caring people who provided me 2 things: opportunities to pursue my passion and opportunities to develop my own talents. And that's why I became an educator, to continue this work and to provide others. And I wonder if you can relate to this. I wonder if you also pursued your career as an attorney, as a doctor, as a community organizer, as a scientist, because you wanted other people's lives to improve. Or because, like me, you wanted to provide opportunities for others to pursue their passions and to develop their talents. As an educator, I developed amazing programs, and I also learned that I could not impact everyone. On more than one occasion, I mentored and supported children from 1st grade to 6th grade to find them again in high school where they hadn't had a caring mentor. They hadn't had a caring system that supported them, and they were struggling as high school students or as adults. And I realized that as an educator, as one person, I could not reach every student, support them every step of the way. And maybe like you, maybe in your medical practice, you realize that you can't reach every client. And that is what brought me back to school. I wanted to learn how we could scale our individual good to create a collective good. That's what brought me back to Harvard University. And over the past few years, I have learned that there are communities out there intentionally developing systems that are supporting children from cradle to career. Communities like in the Harlem Children's Zone or in San Francisco's Mission Economic District, they are coming together so that it's not just one program like myself working in siloed, supporting students from only a few years, but rather collaborating together so that there's a transition, there's a warm handoff from one program to the next, to the next, to the next. I now have taken this model and applied it within my own company, an education company based out of California. We partner with the local university where they have students interested in education. We take them on, we mentor them, provide them experiential learning experience, hire many of them, and support them as they transition full-time as educators in local school districts. That is part of the talent pipeline. But together, we are part of a larger talent pipeline, supporting children from cradle to career. And you may be wondering, Gustavo, tell me more about this collective impact and how I can be a part of it. Can I be a part of it? Yes, you can. Perhaps you are the leader of an organization. Perhaps you are the leader of a company, a social worker, an attorney. You have many talents, and you can collaborate with organizations in your community to create these systems, intentional systems of support, so that it's not up to luck who has these opportunities like me, so that we can impact at scale, and so that every child has the same opportunities. As an educator, I know that children who experience housing instability, in some states, only 44% of them graduate from high school. Only 5% will go on to earn a college degree by the age of 26. And they are 2 times more likely to experience homelessness as adults. These were my odds. These were my statistics. Almost 20 years later, I stand before you on this stage, not on this stage of TEDx, but on this stage of life. One where I am experiencing happiness every single day, where I am a man with a great support system, mentors, and I am mentoring others, where I'm a property owner, where I'm an educator, an entrepreneur, and hold a master's in human development. But that's not it. Just last week, I defended and earned a new title, Doctor of Education Leadership. So yes, mentors had an amazing impact in my life, and we all have the power to transform lives. You don't have to be a CEO or a company or a doctor or an entrepreneur. You don't need a fancy title or resources. You just need a caring heart. If you lead an organization, great, you can collaborate with those local organizations in your community and develop cradle to career systems of support. And as an individual, we can all mentor someone. You can start by sharing your story. Maybe taking on a mentee. Maybe sharing your phone number with them. You'll be surprised. If it's a teenager, they will probably text you. And they might even call you. Ring, ring, ring. Will you join me in answering the call? Thank you.